Hey, scholars. That's my new name for my special tribe members who are reading the Bible with me in 2023. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. My name is Taneza. I am the mom of 3 kids living in the heart of New York City. And I'm on a journey, an adventure, reading the Bible for the very first time. For the very, very first time. I'd love to have you along with me. All you have to do is subscribe below. All right. Today we are reviewing Leviticus, chapter 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. There's a lot, so let's go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna try and keep this to one video. Instructions for atonement, chapter 16. Verse 6, Aaron is to offer the bull for his own sin offering to make atonement for himself and his household. Verse 7, then he is to take the 2 goats and present them before the Lord at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Verse 8, he is to cast lots for the 2 goats, 1 lot for the Lord and the other for the scapegoat. The rest of chapter 16 just goes into specific details around the Day of Atonement. Chapter 17, eating blood is forbidden. In verse 8, any Israelite or any alien living among them who offers a burnt offering or sacrifice. Verse 9, and does not bring it to the entrance to the tent of meeting to sacrifice it to the Lord, that man must be cut off from his people. The Lord tells Moses that the Israelites can no longer offer sacrifices to goat idols. Israelites cannot eat any blood of the animals that they slaughter. Verse 13, any Israelite or any alien living among you who hunts any animal or bird that may be eaten must drain out the blood and cover it with earth. Verse 14, because the life of every creature is its blood. That is why I have said to the Israelites, you must not eat the blood of any creature, because the life of every creature is its blood. Anyone who eats it must be cut off. I was thinking, like, maybe that's why when you see like devil worshiping or Satanists, it's always like a blood ritual. It's interesting. All right, chapter 18 is all about unlawful sexual relations. In my notes I have, okay, notebook is matching my outfit today. The Lord tells Moses to tell the Israelites they should not follow the customs of the Egyptians or the Canaanites. Those are lands from which he delivers them. Verse 5 of chapter 18. Keep my decrees and laws, for the man who obeys them will live by them. I am the Lord. So I actually just put a little list right there. I listed some of the rules. So there's no sexual relations with your family. There are 13 verses dedicated to this. 13. I wanted to read for you verse 10. Do not have sexual relations with your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter. That would dishonor you. That's your grandchildren. Yep, your son's daughter, that's your grandchildren. Again, 13 verses are dedicated to incest, right? Do not have sex with family members. Another rule, do not have sexual relations during menstrual cycles. Verse 22 of chapter 18, do not lie with a man as one lies with a woman. That is detestable. Don't want to go too far in detail with that. That's just definitely a verse that's weaponized a lot in my experience with the Christian church. And so I wanted to just read that word for word and leave it there. 4th rule, no sexual relations with animals. That's considered bestiality. And then I wanted to read the closing of Leviticus 18 with verses 29 and 30. Verse 29, everyone who does any of these detestable things Such persons must be cut off from their people. Verse 30, keep my requirements. Do not follow any of the detestable customs that were practiced before you came, and do not defile yourselves with them. I am the Lord your God. In chapter 19, these are various laws, you guys. Various laws. I have a little list. Respect your parents. Observe the Sabbath. No idols. Eat the sacrifice the same day as the sacrifice is offered. Proper way to reap a harvest. Do not steal. Do not lie. No slander. No hate. I wanted to read for you verse 18 of chapter 19. Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against one of your people, but love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. There are rules for eating fruit, rules for eating meat. No sorcery. Verse 27. Do not cut the hair at the sides of your head or clip the edges of your beard. And I thought about Jewish priests that I have seen in person, and that's definitely a rule that is followed. No tattoos, you guys. I did not know that was in the Bible. No tattoos, no medians. And then it ends with verse 37. Keep all my decrees and all my laws and follow them. I am the Lord. Chapter 20. Chapter 20 reviews the punishments for sin. And it mentions Molech again. In verse 4, if people of the community close their eyes when that man gives one of his children to Molech and they fail to put him to death, I will set my face against that man. Molech was actually mentioned in chapter 18 in verse 21. And I did my Googles. So Molech was a Canaanite deity associated in biblical sources with practice of child sacrifice. So mentioned in chapter 18, mentioned again in chapter 20. And so basically the punishment for the sins that are listed in this chapter, you're being put to death. You're gonna curse your father or your mother, put to death. Committed adultery, put to death. Bestiality, put to death. Incest, put to death. Sex during menstruation, put to death. And then it went into clean versus unclean animals. And again, it reiterated no mediums. That ends chapter 20. Chapter 21, it gives rules for priests. In particular, they cannot become ceremonially unclean. They're not to shave their head nor their beard. Do not profane the name of God. You cannot marry a prostitute or a divorcee. You cannot be unkempt. You must marry a virgin, no widow. And again mentions you cannot marry a divorcee or a prostitute. The Lord tells Moses, I have in my notes, to tell Aaron, verse 17 of chapter 21, verse 17, say to Aaron, for the generations to come, none of your descendants who has a defect may come near to offer the food of his God. Verse 18, no man who has a defect may come near, no man who is blind or lame, disfigured or deformed. Verse 19, no man with a crippled foot or a hand. Verse 20, or who is hunchbacked or dwarfed, who has any eye defect, or who has festering or running sores or damaged testicles. Verse 21 of chapter 21, no descendant of Aaron the priest who has any defect is to come near to present the offerings made to the Lord by fire. He has a defect. He must not come near to offer the food of his God. And that, scholars, my biblical scholars, ends the review for today. We reviewed chapters 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Video for tomorrow, you guys. Today is day 23. Video for tomorrow, day 24, is the end of Leviticus. The end of Leviticus. I'm sorry, I'm getting excited. The end of Leviticus. So, In tomorrow's video, we will be reviewing chapters 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. All right, it's been wonderful reviewing this text with you. As always, please drop in the comments below any revelations that you may have gotten during today's reading. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.